Hello, what's his faces? Welcome back to another video. Tigon here, and today we're gonna be ranking the snipers in COD Mobile. I've seen a lot of people doing ranking videos, like, hey, why not? A lot of people have actually also asked me about the snipers and where I ranked them and why. So I'm gonna make a proper video instead of just saying it on stream where it gets lost. So yeah, let's get into it. So I'm gonna be ranking this in two different ways. So I'm gonna be ranking it in terms of the very first way I'm going to rank it is manual sniping. And if you got manual sniping is essentially sniping like you were to snipe if you're using a controller, basically using scoping and then shooting, using two things, right? Or scoping and shooting, right? Whereas ADS sniping is the sniping which the game has made, which I think is a really impressive way for playing shooting in mobile games. But it's the ADS button where you basically hit the button and it automatically scopes in and shoots, and you can also aim from there, which I think really is amazing. But I'm gonna be ranking it by both of those two. So first off, we're gonna start with manual sniping, and let's get into it. So first gun, as you guys can see, I'm already rocking it right here. It's the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓽𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰. It's a no-brainer, and with manual sniping, it just makes it that much more crazy. So I'm gonna get into an AI real quick, and I'm gonna show you guys what I mean. I've showed this off before, but the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 is even more crazy than it was before, because one, it can already shoot pretty fast, but then on top of that, now you can blank scope with it, and yeah, it's crazy. Now, of course, people are gonna be like, well, we don't see pros using it. Well, pros don't use it because it's been banned since season 1. So one, people have barely gotten to practice with it. Like, I know very few people that have actually used the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 a lot. Like, I remember I used the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 a lot in season 1 and season 2, because that was like before I knew it was banned or whatever. But yeah, people don't use it a lot. But see how fast that can shoot, and then on top of that, you can blank scope, and then on top of that, how big the scope is itself. It's bigger than a DL. I wasn't trying to hit that guy, I'm just randomly shooting, so yeah, my aim is not bad. Yeah, so as you guys can see, hopefully, this is how fast it shoots, and it's just insane. Now, the only problem with it is people get too focused on the shooting of it, and they kind of mess themselves up. But regardless, it's number one. If someone could actually spend the amount of time needed to master this gun, it'd be pretty insane. And since the gun was basically banned from comp play, you just don't see a lot of pro snipers using this gun, and that's why you're not going to see a lot of pro clips with it, just because pro snipers aren't using the gun. And I guess if that's true, then you're just not going to see a lot of people use it. However, I still do believe it's the best sniper in the game. For example, let's say, well, actually no, this is not an example, this is actually a real thing. Nike actually created a pair of shoes that are really good, so good in fact that they're banned from most competitions. Now, you wouldn't expect, it would make a lot of sense for people not to use those shoes when practicing. Why would someone not use those shoes while practicing? So they don't get used to it. Same thing with this. Think about how many hours pro snipers have put into using the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓷𝓰 versus the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓬𝓷. One, they're not going to be comfortable using the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓽𝓲𝓬𝓬. Two, they're not going to use it casually because of all those reasons. Just the amount of work and effort to put into this sniper, if you can't even use it, it'd be kind of dumb. But it is number one on the list. The only issue I have with it is the fact that, which really isn't its fault, you can get a decent amount of hit markers. Well, I wouldn't even say decent amount. You can get hit markers in tough situations. But other than that, yeah, this is a great weapon. Now, the second one, or in second place, we actually have a tie, and that is between both the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓰 and the 𝓤𝓚. And the reason why that is, most people think the 𝓤𝓚 is weak, which is really not weak. It's a pretty strong gun. The reason why is because the fire rate of the 𝓤𝓚, 1, and then 2, it's scope. The 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓰, it gets a decent amount of hit markers, actually a lot for a gun that's supposed to be a one shot. And the 𝓤𝓚, even though it gets hit markers, it still performs pretty well. Like, maybe I would say at max it gets 10% more hit markers than the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓰, but overall I would say it's pretty much on par with the DL, just because of how that extra bit of fire rate, or that extra fire rate increase along with its bigger scope. Let me explain. So the 𝓤𝓚𝓬𝓬𝓲𝓰 is supposed to be a one-shot sniper. You get tons of hit markers with it, and you can even get hit markers with headshots. I've noticed it, I've gotten it before. Whereas the 𝓤𝓚, yeah, you can get hit markers with it, but you have the extra shot to take. And if you combine that with the fact that you're using scope plus shoot, meaning you can take that not scope and shoot. You can take that extra shot, and then on top of that, you don't have to fully scope in with it. And that combined with its scope, so I'm able to see a lot more way quicker, and I'm able to essentially I'm able to see a lot more way quicker. And on top of that, I forgot to mention the fact that the speed of the scope actually scopes in, I would say, faster than the DL, or at least as fast. So you're not really getting anything more with the scope. Now the reason why I'm not trying to shoot this guy is because I'm talking to the mic, so it doesn't sound, I don't sound too low. And if I do that, I can't really play 6-minute claw properly. But so I'm just gonna run away from the bot. But anyway, let's continue. So for the Locust, its benefit of its big scope is the fact that you can react quicker to things. So if you scope into something, right, and you see an enemy, well, you're going to be able to react way quicker because the scope is bigger. So let's say someone slides, and if you were on using the DL, they would slide out of your field of view, and you would have to go ahead and then slide or turn, or I guess kind of guess where they were going. Whereas with the Locust, you would be able to catch them in your scope still and be able to adjust and still hit them. And that's why it's going to allow you to just react faster because of its bigger scope. Now, oh my god, please don't hit me. No, you found me. But yeah, that's why I would definitely say the Locust is better in that aspect. Now, that combined with the fact that you get pretty much the same amount of hit markers, that's what I've noticed. You get the same amount of hit markers if you are at that high level of skill, which is aiming high. So this, I would definitely say, is a high skill weapon using the Locust. But if you get the same amount of you get the same amount of hit markers. So it would be a no-brainer to use the Locust. However, in some situations, you do want that guaranteed shot. And I will say that 𝓮𝓫, even with all of its hit markers, will usually get you that guaranteed shot in those situations where you need it. For example, a game mode like S&D or a 1v1, I would definitely say that a 𝓮𝓫 is better for those. But the Locust is really good for respawn game modes such as Domination and Hardpoint. So that is why I have it tied. Depending on your game mode and also depending on your map, you're going to want to choose the Locust, because the Locust is actually really good in close range maps, because as I said, its scope can see really well. Now, I've actually not, people have said the Locust is bad at long range. It's really not. I can quick scope people across the map, and I've done it before in other videos and stuff. But yeah, you can quick scope people off the map, and I do feel it's a really good gun. You just gotta know how to use it, and you just gotta practice with it a lot. But yeah, that is the Locust for manual sniping. And also, as I said before, you can blank scope with it. So if I'm blank scoping with something, I'm gonna be able to see way more information, and I'm gonna be able to blank scope with it. It's just super fun for blank scoping, and it makes blank scoping even better. But yeah, that's where I have it tied. Now lastly, we have the Outlaw, and the Outlaw, I'm going to essentially put it in third place, because there's first, and then the Locust and the 𝓮𝓫 are tied for second, and then third, the Outlaw. The Outlaw is a good gun. I mean, it could be a good gun, but it just gets too many hit markers, and it's basically, in my opinion, like a weaker Locust. So if they were to go ahead and, I don't know, buff the Outlaw, then I would then say, okay, yeah, maybe that's maybe you could do that, right? But yo, what if someone played scope plus shoot using 2 fingers? That'd be insane. But yeah, if they were to go ahead and buff the Outlaw, that'd be pretty cool. What am I talking about? I'm sorry, guys. They're actually going to buff the Outlaw. That's what I've heard, right? And that could potentially change this entire ranking. But as of now, I'm going to definitely say that my current ranking for manual sniping is Arctic 50, 𝓮𝓫 / Locust for second place, and for third place we have the Outlaw. The Outlaw is a decent gun. It could be a decent gun. It just gets too many hit markers at the moment. It's not really reliable. It's good for a feed, but in my opinion, a Locust would be better for a feed. So yeah, I really can't justify using it. Now at a super high skill level, yeah, you could use it, but the amount of energy and effort it takes is not worth it at this point in time. So it's definitely third place. Now on to the ADS button, which you guys know as the button with the scope and the bullet. And I'm going to say, for this particular situation, the ADS button will move the Locust into third place. Just think about everything I said, and yeah, it's just gonna move the Locust in third place, and we're gonna have the 𝓮𝓫 at second, because you can't really maximize or use its blank scoping capabilities, and that's one of the things that really make it a force to be reckoned with. So you're gonna lose that, and then on top of that, it's actual, I guess, skill. Not skill, but it's actual consecutive shots. You're not gonna be able to hit as many consecutive shots when you're using the ADS button with the Locust. So one reason people might find the Locust a bit harder to use is the fact that you're not using Scope plus Shoot. If you use Scope plus Shoot, it's definitely gonna make a noticeable difference on how good the Locust performs, and that is why in that case I will rank it as such: 𝓤𝓚50, 𝓤𝓚3, and then Locust, right? But yeah, that's basically the ranking, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed. I've been re-recording this so many times just so I can get it down to a good amount of time, because at first it was 14 minutes, like, wait, well, that's too long. No one's gonna want to sit there for that long, so I was able to get it down to like 11 minutes. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm gonna catch you later. But that's basically my ranking for these particular weapons. Now I'm going to say one more thing. As for the Locust, really go ahead and stick it out and just use it. Just go ahead and use it, because I really do feel like it's a great weapon. I'm pretty sure it's going to get a buff coming soon, and even now, without the buff, it's a great weapon. You just need to go ahead and take some time to use it. And the reason why I say this is because think about how much time most people have spent using the 𝓤𝓚 or even the 𝓤𝓚50, and apply that to the Locust. Really, I don't think too many people have spent too much time using the Locust. So especially with the fact that before it wasn't even a weapon that you can get. So one, people was saying the Locust was bad, right? And that was before it was even the season where you could go ahead and actually experience the Locust, because before you would have to have won it in the, I think, season 3 by getting the Masters, or Masters 2, whatever, which was a hard thing for most people to do. And then the other way you would have to gotten it was be out of a crate. There was a free event for it, but not until now could you actually get a default Locust skin and the glowing bronze skin. So one, just think about how much experience people have using Locust, which is really not that much. And then two, like imagine someone they're running around, they see the Locust, they think it's a decent gun or whatever, they pick it up, use it, get a whole bunch of hit markers after using the 𝓤𝓚3, and they're like, oh, it sucks, but no, they just barely used it. So go ahead, take about a week or so, use the Locust. I have to sneeze, my goodness. And yeah, I'm gonna end this before I sneeze on everything. But yeah, peace out, guys. Ow, I sneezed and it hurt.